Hey, over there. Let's back out a little bit. All right. Hope y'all can hear me okay. Test, test, test. Test, test, test. Test, 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 test. Test, test, test. I don't think you're picking me up at all. Edit. Webcam. Public. Test, test. There is no audio. God dang it. Test, test. Headphones. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? There are some sound. Okay. All right, so sounds like I'm being the greatest because I left my lav mic at home. So I apologize for that. But here we are today. We are going to go ahead and get out. It was supposed to be, if you look, come on, focus, focus, focus. All right, well, it was supposed to be a 220 by 220 or focal length of 330 millimeters. What came was a focal length of 225, which makes it a 160 millimeter lens instead of a 100 or 220. So right now, let's see. I think I need to. So, it's kind of a learning curve for this camera because it's brand new and menu, and where's the enter? I thought that would be enter. Okay, so menu, image. Preset speed, power up. Camera, digital zoom, off and door. I thought that there was an option. Here we go. So turn off mirror. Boom. All right. So now you are looking at things like I'm looking at things. All right. Well, I apologize for that little setback, but at least now everything's not flipped backwards. And you should be able to read. So, where are we at? Focus. Focus. All right, we're not focusing. There we go. It's trying. It's trying real hard. There we go. Oop. Digging it. But either way, we'll figure this all out. So right now, I believe what I have installed is a F. Something that I kind of try to share with as many people as I can, but probably don't get out to quite enough people is when you are looking at a lens, if you take the F value, so this one is an F160. I don't know if you probably can't read that, but if you multiply it by 0.7 or 70% of that number, then you end up with what roughly is going to be the field size. So the F on this is for the focal length or approximate focal length, not field size. So if you get an F160, it's going to be either focusing or the mirrors, actually, I think. This one is a 225. So if you take 225 times 0.7, you're going to end up with roughly 100. And I think it was 157 side by side. These two lenses, the profiles. This actually has, I'm going to assume, it looks like there's a little sacrificial window in there. So basically, if things fly up and hit the lens, I believe that's there to protect it. I might have to do a little research on that. And I'll just tell everybody immediately there's some change with tax. So I found on Amazon, just on a random search, some lenses that were 220 millimeter field size that were on sale for like $16.99 plus tax, free shipping, and I nabbed one up. And it said that there were only 3 left, so I went on Discord and told everybody on Fiber Chat that if they needed a cheap lens or one, it was $16 to see if this thing's going to work. So, yeah, to do. You can't really see much. I just rearranged the laser room, as you probably noticed, all to make room for CO2 laser that'll hopefully be coming in here pretty soon. So we're going to turn on. I've got a little remote keyboard and mouse set up. And live stream with Alex on the Laser Source podcast. And I thought, well, printed invoice. It's very well packed. Now, unfortunately, I'm not 100% sure that, because there's a small enough unsafe knife. It's missing a bolt at the base, so the handle just kind of, again, get broken, beat itself to death with shipping. So this guy right here is to help you measure out, not find focal height, but find the distance of your focal height. So this goes up to 210. We're in that area where it may not work. So first step, now, and we are going to go to devices, create manually, pick JCZ Fire. Next, and I named these just by, right now I only have one fiber laser, so it's going to be 160 fiber. So it's 160 millimeter lens for fiber laser. X axis, Y axis, 60, 60, X. I don't know how much of that you can see. I don't really want to set a camera preset to see my screen because the camera picking up our new device, Fiber 160. I'm going to drag it up to the top and in between 110 and 200, so they're in order of size. 160 fiber, okay. All right, so now we have fiber, and we are going to make a 20 millimeter square in the center of the page. And now we'll go to preset 2. Oops, I did 5. That's what CO2 is going to be. And there we go. All right, so it's cutting off the screen a little bit. I'll have to reset that up. In fact, I might just do that now. Set 2. No. Set 2. All right, almost done there. But anyhow, pull that out just a scooch. Safety eyewear. All right, so now we are going to open this up. Just do a scanning angle of 0. Speed of 1500, slow it down 500, frequency of 35, power of 60. Let's do a line interval of 0.0, just 0.1. Luckily, that doesn't matter. We're just doing square. All right, so we're going to frame. Obviously, that's much larger than 20 millimeters. So we are way outside of our focal point, but that's fine. Set this up to run continuously and start. And then we'll move our focus down. We're still way outside. Going. And now we are open. Here we go. So go ahead and hit stop. That should be our focal point. Just for S's and G's, let's take a look at. So rather than being a 20 millimeter square, it's about 24, 23. So it's about a 23 millimeter square. I don't know if I got that on camera or not. I was practicing my eye. So I don't know if you can see that, but we are a little outside that 20 millimeter size. That's fine. Not a big deal. That's what we're doing. We're calibrating and setting this guy up. We are at our optimal focal point where it was making the most noise and producing the most light. So now, you can loosen this little screw here and slide it down. And yeah, unfortunately, we are just a little bit outside, probably about 40 millimeters, 30 millimeters outside that's about 50 millimeter tape. So it's, yeah, about 200, almost exactly, actually, 250 millimeters. So there's a 50 millimeter wide laser tape. This is just black masking tape that I imported from China and call it laser tape. It's what I'm using to mark my bed with market or the Maker Remix market. That's temporarily out of order. So when they launch again, then my tape will be available again. In the meantime, I guess if you had to buy it from the evil Bezos empire, you could do that. Or reach out to me directly and we could probably work something out. I don't know. Maybe I should just get it listed on my website too. So you can go to Beam It Up Laserworks or beamituplw.com. Which is probably on my own website. And I'll see if I can get that listed up there. It comes in 50 millimeter and 100 millimeter length widths. And I used the 100 millimeter to run this. So we're running 3 patches wide, covering the whole base. And at the right power and frequency, all lasers, including the fiber, with some of the wavelength, it doesn't really seem like it absorbs that well either. So many different uses. Right now, we're going to use the screen calibrate or the lens calibration tool that's built into Lightburn. So we're going to go to Laser Tools, Calibrate. One thing we should probably do, I'm going to hit cancel. This laser is set up 0 degrees, which would be horizontal, is actually 90 degrees the laser went around. So what I should probably do is hit F3, and then in the top left corner, there's a feed to this. I believe that's the correct way it's done. We're gonna go ahead and let's make a square on top of a circle. And we're gonna see when we frame it. Well, I currently have selected graphics on. All right, so now when we frame it, we have a square on top of the circle. So just to check, we can drag this circle to the left of the square. And now we have a circle to the left of the square, which means that now from my perspective, when I engrave on anything, the engraving is going to be according to my perspective. So I'm not 100% sure you can really see the framing on. On that and figure out a way to make it where it'll pick that up, because it'd definitely be beneficial if you could see the framing better. Add that to the list. So yeah, now we have that, and we are going to go. So enter the working area of the lens. This is the 160 millimeter. Enter the size of box output that it's going to generate. In order to get a good mark on this tape with my 30-watt fiber, I like to do 1,000 speed, 12% power. We can do peak kilohertz at 35-ish. Q pulse is going to stay at 200 nanoseconds. So we can frame it, boom, and then we are going to put our eye protection down, hit start, and just for shits and giggles, we're going to hit it again. All right. Oh, crap. I just hit escape. I should have done that. Hold on. Tools, calibration. probably overburned it now because it lights back on. Because I think maybe that's going to help you see lines. There's like one light switch for the whole shop, which is handy until it's not. As a result of your laser. So you can see our light burn logo orientation, based off of what the field should be at, with the tail pointed toward me. And then it shows you a picture of everything and it tells you what measurements to make. So center line. So basically it's going to have me measure 1, 2, 3, 4. Bulge to the line there. And then it looks like there's a little bit of pinch here. Just a hair. And then a little bit of pinch again, and a little bit of bulge again. So it makes sense that the bulge would correspond with 1, and then the pinch would stay consistent across the other axis. The lines in the middle seem pretty dang straight, so I think we're actually going to be in a pretty good position with this once we fix that. So let's bust out the old machinist ruler. .83 millimeters. Distance 2. It's going to be 84 millimeters. I left my calipers in the car, which wasn't a good move. All right, so measurement 3, we're going to measure at 81 millimeter. It's not 801, it's going to be 81. Measurement 4. Is like 82 millimeters. Measurement 5. Is going to be, maybe at this point it would be beneficial to manual focus. So this is, and then this. Like 84 again. So it's very considerable distances, starting with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Two, it's like 81.5. It's like 78 and a half. It's like right on 78. Five is like 81 and a half. And 6 is 78 and a half. And so it's giving us our measurements. I'm going to take a picture of this real quick. There's a chart that Alex made that I need to enter this all into. That way we kind of have like a record of the fingerprints of the signs. So part's done. What we need to do now, we need to set that ourselves. So this is fixing like trapezoidal shift, skew, bulge, pinch, all that stuff. Cool. Made one. Let's start off at 20 millimeters. Gauge center. We're going to go to line mode. And let's set our settings to 1000. So that should give us a good burn. And make this one 40. 40 millimeters square. You know what? Let's make that 160. We've got a square that's a good size. It's still smaller than the square that the setting, the setup tool made. So we really, our scale was way off. It looks like maybe it did side of it. You can see here, I just take that. It's actually cut all those squares. And now we can go ahead and measure those, and then we'll go ahead and see where we're at. All right, so we're back. Sorry. It's a lot easier if I have my calipers. I'll just have to try to do it. So our 20 millimeter squares almost is spot on at 40. Is I'd say just a hair under, like 79 and a half, where seems to be about a half a millimeter off. Looks like it's actually maybe just a half a millimeter shy too. Maybe looks pretty good. 40 millimeters looks pretty good. 80 is about a millimeter high from the look of it. 120 is about a millimeter and a half. And we're about a millimeter and a half on 160 as well. So we can change our scale. I think there's another tool for that. I might have, I can't remember, because I remember Kyle and Alex talking about like putting in what your expected was and what your actual was. I don't know where that's at. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of looking. see here we go. There's the scale. So Galvo 1 is the x-axis, is unchecked. So Galvo 2 is the x-axis, which is going to be going this way. Scale is at 91.512 or 11312. And F2 again. Doesn't really seem to have changed anything, so maybe we need to go just a slight hair smaller. Let's go 91. It doesn't seem like it's making much of a difference. Huh. Okay, I'm gonna just go ahead and go down to like it's thickening up that line some, but not a terrible amount. All right, you know what? I'm getting inside of that line. Looking at just a hair over 60 millimeters. If we drop one more, I think we're going to be perfect. So let's go back to F3. And we're going to go to 90. So let's boom. All right, so we're going to run it one more time. And now we can see our line. Sorry for blocking the shot with my shoulder. It is spot on, perfect, like exactly 60 millimeters, at least according to this. I'll probably go back through once I get my 160 spot on as far as I can tell for being 20 millimeters. I'm pretty happy. So that quick, see if we can import a nice image. I don't know what I have on here. Hey, there we go. We have our Batman coin we just did. So I'm going to take that bad boy. Let's blow it up to 150 millimeters. Let's change everything. Let's change everything to output. And we have 1,015 or 2,050. So let's make that 1,015. That's probably boring. $2,030, $32,000. 15, 5. Thousand, 15, 35. All right. So we are all set on that. And you can see it's kind of doing its funky thing with the framing. And we're going to try and see how this goes. So let's fire away. Oh, that's very interesting. So I told the software how everything was done. And then the software, I think, again, because I already set it to where it needed to be at -90, I think it defaulted real quick. So you can see how stuff like this can go wrong. So it's automatically correcting, but not in a way where we can adjust it. So let's and we're gonna frame it. So you're kind of looking at it from a cockeyed version where it's a little bit off center, but you can see you can see the Batman image there. So there's Batman, that simple little profile of the city there. Just trying to learn how to use this PTZ camera. So again, I'm sorry guys if this is a disaster. Just trying to find something. But yeah, there you go. I don't really have much else to do or say. Hopefully this was an educational experience for you, and hopefully not overly frustrating. So there's position 0. I can't remember if we did this already, but there's position 0, and then 1 is going to be the UV laser bed. Then we go back to the fiber bed, and then we have the Niji over here. It uses a workbench for energy drinks at the moment, but that will hopefully have some footage reporting on it soon. And then over here, the Flying Bear that has another box that we received in the mail. This guy, we got an exhaust fan because when the CO2 arrives, when the CO2 gets moved into the shop, it's in the garage right now. But when that happens, boom, the CO2 is going to go there. So once I clean this area out, the CO2, the thing that's setting me back really is just, it's so large that I'm going to need to move it onto its side to get it through the door, and then flip it back, put the tube back in, get everything measured out and all that stuff. So it's going to be an event, and that event will hopefully be happening soon, and we'll get that set up. So yeah, thanks a bunch for watching and pay all this money for this camera to not. So here we go. Thanks, guys.